Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Model Monday Live, the premier spot for you to get your 3D CAD modeling practice in, to find out how fast you are, against the other people in the chat. It's the one and only place that you can go to do this live every Monday, live streaming at 11 o'clock East Coast. Welcome, one and all. What is up, CAD Jungle? Welcome and thanks for joining us. Chris Knudsen is here, old friend of the show. Welcome. We got Jamal Drew here. We got Thomas Potier here. We got Glenn here and Debujo. Nice. Welcome. What's up? And of course, JDF. 52WTF says, sup people, I'm not fast enough to compete, but I love the practice. There we go. That's a good attitude. I like that too. I love the practice as well. This is indeed the place to go to get your practice in. And of course, all CAD are welcome here. We have people running SolidWorks, people running Onshape, people running Fusion 360, people running Inventor. So everybody comes out here on Monday morning to get their week started and to learn all about how fast they are compared to other people, get some good practicing in. AMO Alex is here. What's up, Alex? Welcome. Chris says, competed a long time ago, but it was too stressful for me. Well, I could certainly understand that. So, guys, as always, let me know if anything sounds out of line, if the music is too loud, if the music is too quiet. If my voice is too loud or if my voice is too quiet, let me know. David is here, says, hey, I made it just in time. Yes, indeed. You are in the right place. You are here at the right time, David. Congratulations and welcome. This morning, I am drinking good coffee. Drink good coffee. You can see it says on my mug. That's how I get started with the day. What's up, Craig? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. David confirming sound is good. All right. Excellent. Then we are good to move on, I think. You guys are all here for the epic 3D CAD modeling challenges, so let's get them going here. Today is Monday, August 28th. We just came off of a pretty interesting tournament live stream. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch that tournament live stream, I really encourage you to go back and watch it. We had a very special guest, none other than John Hirschtick, the man who founded SolidWorks, the man who founded Onshape. We had him on here doing co-commentary, sharing some epic tips and tricks, some knowledge, some history of the world of SolidWorks, gave us a little history lesson on how the rebuild light came to existence and what the significance of that rebuild light is. So it was very special having a very special co-commentator. And we also, for the first time, had something weird happen. We had somebody no call, no show. Robin was unfortunately got a little hung up with some family business. He's got a youngster at home. And I know how that feels. I've been there, Robin. I totally get it. No worries. We'll get you in the next tournament. But it was the first time we ever had somebody no call, no show. And it is we made some adjustments on the fly thanks to the suggestions from my special co-commentator. And Pranav was able to kind of jump in and go up against Jack Sato. And it was just a very cool experience, very cool live stream. If you guys haven't watched that one yet, be sure to check it out. We got Ali Amori in the chat. What's up, Ali? Long time no see. Great to see you in here again. I've been recently going through and rebuilding the TooTallToby leaderboard page, and so I was going back and looking at all the earlier ones, and I remember you were in there those first couple of months. So very just had you on my mind. Very serendipitous that now you are here in the live stream with us. So welcome. Thanks for joining us today. And let's get into it here. We're going to get into some speed modeling challenges. We're going to talk about the new website. We're going to do some live solves using Onshape. And of course, we're going to be hanging out with the best chat ever. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is to like the video, add a comment, subscribe, interact in the chat. These are all things that help to kind of push the live stream up in the algorithm. I'm going to make sure that I like this over here on my monitoring computer. And if you're watching this, be sure to hit that like button. It's a great way to help support the channel. And with that, I just want to say thank you, of course, to SolidBox. SolidBox has been supporting us for a long time here on the channel. Got to give them a special shout out. If you guys ever are in need of any kind of professional workstations, you guys are all professional engineers, SolidBox is the place to go. They will take care of you. They will hook you up with a wonderful system that will just kind of work and be reliable. And honestly, the best testimonial that I can give SolidBox is that most of their customers become customers for life. They see the value in not having to, mess around with the configuration of a workstation. They just want it to just work right out of the box. So check them out, www.mysolidbox.com. A great partner of the channel here and a great company to work with if you ever are in need of engineering hardware. All right, let's get into the challenges here. I'm going to show you guys a 2D print. I got some special ones that I made up for today. So I'm going to show you a 2D print. You're going to try and turn that into a 3D model, and you are going to try to calculate the mass of that 3D model. You can enter that mass in the YouTube chat, and the first person to enter it correctly will be declared the winner, will earn the point for today. The points are just for fun today, but we're right on the cusp of these points being worth some actual value, and we're going to talk about that just a little bit later today. The basic rules are that you can use any 3D CAD package as long as you can input density and output mass, and you need to make sure you use the specified precision when you answer, although today the answers are all in whole digits, so you don't have to worry about that. And the first person to get this correct in the chat will be declared the winner, will earn the point. For those of you who are here for the very first time, take a moment, grab a screen capture of this. This is the Model Monday Live CAD Speed Modeling Challenges Units and Materials page. So you want to make sure that you are working with the correct materials, working with the correct units. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time getting the correct answer. Desmo is in the chat. What's up, Des? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, make sure you take a screen capture of this. Make sure you have these materials ready to go. Make sure you have templates set up, ready to go when it comes to your materials, when it comes to your units. That's going to make you that much faster. This is definitely something we see from our runners in the tournament. They all have materials, templates set up, ready to go. So as soon as we show the 2D print, they can just immediately start CADing. Start CADing and never stop CADing. The advanced rules are that this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I will make a mistake. I'll miss a dimension, or I'll list the wrong material density or something like that. So when that happens, we just kind of adjust on the fly. And the Ivan exploit is permitted. So if you find an opportunity to use that, you can use it. If you want to do it right, if you want to flex, just do it the right way. But if you see an exploit in this modeling process, you certainly can use the Ivan exploit. All right, I think that's it for the rules. I think everybody who is ready to compete is here. So if you guys are going to be competing in today's challenge, throw a 1 in the chat for me. Let me know that you're going to be competing today. Put a 1 in the chat. A great way to let me know that you are here to compete today. I'm just going to take a sip of my delicious coffee while I wait to see who's running today. AMO Alex just says, ready. JD52WTF puts a 1 in the chat. He's ready to compete. We'll see if anybody else is here. It might just be these two guys, right? We'll see. I'm sure there's lots of other people in the chat who are here to compete, who are here to turn this thing into a 3D model. All right, let's flip over to our full screen. Here we go. This Model Monday Live 3D CAD Speed Modeling Challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? The tolerance of this part is plus or minus 1 gram. You can see this is using the MMGS unit system. The material's 1060 alloy, and the density is 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. And your job as a speed runner, as a Model Monday Live participant, your job is to try to take this model and turn it into take this drawing, and turn it into a 3D CAD model. You can see that this model has a detail view, detail V, B, bravo, detail B, and that detail view is highlighted there in the red circle. So make sure that you realize that red circle is not an edge of the model, but is actually a detail view. You can see a couple of isometric views to kind of help you out along the way. Lots of dimensions on this print, a lot going on this print, but I'm sure that our wizards out there are going to be able to turn this into a 3D model without any problems. Calculate the mass, and we're looking for that mass in XXX grams. Grab a screen capture of this challenge, put it over on your second monitor, and we will move on with the presentation here. Hopefully this was enough time for everyone. A little bit of a tricky part. The lock star, a new part that I just made for today's live stream. Alrighty, so make sure you grab that. Make sure you move that over onto your second monitor, and you can begin modeling that thing in 3D. And with that, we're going to move on with the presentation. We're going to talk about the tournament. We're going to talk about the new website, and we're going to talk about all kinds of good stuff here today. So first of all, with the tournament, we are getting close to the end of the round of 32 in the TooTallToby's World Championship of 3D CAD Speed Modeling 2023. Quite a mouthful, I know. But this is our World Championship Speed Modeling bracket. You can see that I'm happy to say that we were able to get a couple of more sponsors for the bracket. So over in the black bracket, we are now sponsored by Joko Engineering. You can visit Joko at jokoengineering.com. Joseph does a lot of 3D CAD tutorials and how-to type videos on a lot of different 3D CAD systems. He works with the Libre, he works with FreeCAD, he works with Onshape. He works with a lot of different CAD systems on his YouTube channel, and so he is the absolute perfect sponsor for this tournament, where we are essentially CAD agnostic. All CAD are welcome here. Shout out to Joko Engineering for sponsoring the black bracket, and the black bracket is almost done. We're going to see the final matchups coming up next week between Chadwick and Tarek Shodi, and the winner of that is going to go up against Ivan the Reasonable, former champion, in the September 30th showdown. We move over to the blue bracket. The blue bracket is sponsored by our friends over at SolidBox. And we can see in the blue bracket, we have got a... hold on 1 second, guys. Just making a quick adjustment on the fly here. We see in the blue bracket, we've got our next match coming up between Will and Cam Smith. And Cam Smith is also a former champion. So those matchups next week, September 2nd, are going to be pretty intense. A lot on the line in those matchups. And that's going to be Will from Brazil going up against Cam. SolidWorks versus SolidWorks activity in that one. We're going to see here that in the red bracket, we've also picked up another sponsor, Libre. Libre 3D CAD is easy to use, easy to afford, standalone 3D CAD. And Libre is sponsoring our red bracket. Very excited to have them as a sponsor. And in the red bracket, we're going to see that we're this past weekend, we saw Jack Sato move on. So Jack's going to be running on October 7th. And on September 9th, down at the bottom there, we're going to have Mr. Alex, who's in the chat today, going up against Jihan Rafa, SolidWorks versus SolidWorks. And we also this weekend saw Steamtronics go up against Pranav. Pranav was able to lock down that win. So Pranav is going to be moving on in the green bracket on October 7th. And he's going to be going up against Jaush, who I can't remember if Jaush was number 1 or number 2 on the leaderboard. But you know what? We can go somewhere to find out. We can head over to the new build of TooTallToby.com. It's a little bit of a hidden section of the site, but you can go TooTallToby.com/leaderboard, the same link that it's always been. And we can see the new build of the leaderboard is coming along here nicely. And we could actually go back and look and see that Jaush is the number 2 seed. The number 2 seed in the tournament. So Jaush is going to be going up against Abel September 9th. And the winner that's going to move on and face Pranav on October 7th. So tournament is really moving along nicely. I'm very happy with all the participants. The skill level is way higher than what we've seen in the past, and so we're really I shouldn't say that, not way higher than everything we've seen in the past, but just for these opening levels, we had a hard time last year really getting the flow down in those opening levels, but this year the round of 32 has been just a skilled user against a skilled user every time, and it's been really interesting, really close matches every week. So like I said, this past weekend, we had a special guest, John, joining us for the matchup between Pranav and the matchup between Pranav and Steamtronics, and then also the matchup between Jack Sato and Robin. And during that live stream, we did announce the new build of TooTallToby.com. So I just wanted to give you guys a little preview here of what this looks like. I'm calling it a preview. It is live. You can go there and sign up right now. But one of the key mechanics is not working correctly. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But you can certainly get on here. You can see that we've got the new TTT Cash coin, T1 TTT Cash just floating here. It is a 3D model that you can rotate on the screen, which is pretty cool. You can just kind of like flip this thing around, rotate it right on the screen. We've also got the ability to access things like the tournaments page, very similar to what you're used to in the past. This takes you directly to a link to watch the tournament live streams live. We've got a link here to the practice models page where you can get to the YouTube playlist of all of your practice models. You'll notice here it says, earn TTT cash by completing practice models, coming soon. This is part of the gamification of 3D CAD that we're trying to facilitate here on the site. And we've also got the ability to access Model Monday Live information. We'll put a bunch more information in here, including previous winners of points during Model Monday Live. So we got a lot of good stuff coming in here on the site. Oliver's in the chat. What's up, Oliver? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. But the main thing that I wanted to kind of point out to you here is that once you sign up for the new TooTallToby website, what you get access to is a home page. So you can see up here on the right, I'm logged in right now as Nikola Tesla. This is my home page. And you can see that on the home page, you're able to upload information on the left here about yourself. So professional information, inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, futurist, 3D CAD by proficiency. He did a lot of hand drawings and a lot of 3D mental models. I don't think he was doing much 3D CAD. You can see here personal information. So lifelong bachelor, prefer to spend time alone and visualizing and sketching my next invention. And fun fact, I have a photographic memory. Kind of cool. And then examples of work. You can upload examples of different accomplishments, different type of work that you've done in your life. And where this information all ends up landing, and this is all up to you if you want to share this information or not. You can choose here listed in directory if you want to share that information. But where that information is going to land is going to be here in the directory. So you notice when I click up top here in the directory, we can access this directory of other users. This is also searchable based on the information that you put into your profile. So you can see here all the different users who have signed up for this thing, and then the information is going to either be visible or not visible depending on what they choose to share. So if I go to another user here, let's say I go to this guy Aaron, I click on his username, and we'll take a look at Aaron's user page now. Well, we can see here that Aaron has decided to not really share anything. So, you know, his name, email, phone number, all hidden. Examples of work are hidden. Personal information hidden. So Aaron has decided, you know what, I'm not really comfortable sharing that information with everybody in the group. I'm just going to kind of keep that private. But then if we look at this guy here, Juan Ramirez, we can see that Juan is a little bit more comfortable sharing information about himself. So professional information, hidden, personal information hidden, but then examples of work. Looks like he's doing some kind of sword design, leather armor design, sharing information about himself. Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. Beautiful name there. I don't know if anybody knows what that is a reference to, but if you do, put it in the chat. You'll earn some extra points. And so you can also see here what Juan has in his NFT wallet, the TooTallToby Founders Series NFTs. And this is just basically some artwork that I put together to kind of commemorate the launch of the website. Eventually, we're going to have some good functionality from this artwork. But you'll notice here, if you click on any user and then you click on this Founders NFT, you can see all of these NFTs. These are also available. They're also listed up at the top of the page. So you can see there's an NFT here called How Fast You CAD. This is one that every user will get one of these as they log in. Now, there's only 300 of these available, so there is a limited supply depending on, well, not really depending on, just once we get our users. I think we're going to give these out to the first 250 users. It's kind of like an open promotion right now. We've got the fully defined every time. This is what Midjourney, GPT AI thinks of me. When I load a picture of myself in, it spits out this picture of this nice buff guy with beautiful hair. I like it. Fully defined every time, a reference to the sketching song. So there's all these different NFTs in here, all these different images. They are tokens. They are tokenized. There is a limited supply of each of these. And you can see here that you can access all these from the TooTallToby website. And some of these say price at general store, 15 TTT cash. Well, when your user logs in for the first time, you're going to be issued 100 TTT cash. So you can see here, Nick Tesla is down to just 25 TTT cash. And using that TTT cash, you can pick up items here in the TTT general store. You can see here that you can pick up some of these different NFTs. You can pick up some DLC, some the TooTallToby Party Pack 01. I'll talk to you about that in just a moment. Already purchased this DLC, so I don't need to purchase that again. You can see here that all these NFTs that are available for sale are listed here in the general store. And like I said, when you log in, you're going to have 100 TTT cash, so you can buy whichever ones you want. Here's kind of a fun one, the Ivan exploit, showing the actual model that Ivan did to earn that nickname from the Ivan exploit. Now, the problem is right now that the store is not really working. The shopkeep is being a little rebellious. I don't know if he's striking for higher wages or what's going on. But when you're purchasing things from the store right now, they don't seem to be landing in your wallet properly. So my web dev is tied up in meetings today all day. This will be resolved later tonight. It's not a huge deal. Everything is still working correctly, but I would say if you sign up for an account right now, maybe hold off on trying to buy things from the store, and then, you know, a little bit later today, a little bit later tonight, maybe tomorrow, make your first purchase from the store using this TTT cash that you get issued right from the wallet that you get signed up with when you create your account. Now, the challenge is, so I see Gonzalo is asking if to see the challenges. So the challenge is here, this PDF Party Pack 01. What happens is when you purchase that, and again, just wait till later tonight to purchase it, but when you purchase that, when you go back to your homepage here, you'll see that over on the right, there's a section in My Wallet for DLC, and then you've got your My Downloadable Content, and you can actually download this, you know, right into your downloads. And once this gets done downloading, you can see that this actually gives you a 10-pack of PDFs here. So a 10-pack of practice models that you can go through, you can practice. These are all new or modified slightly. They've got a new drawing number here, PPP0106, PPP0107. So this is from the Party Pack, PPP. This one's missing a P. Just noticed that just now. But these are all brand new drawings. And you can see here that from these new drawings, at the end of this page, at the end of this PDF pack, you've got all the correct answers as well. There's also a note on here. It says, note from Toby. This drawing may be used, printed, and distributed for any educational purpose. This includes guides, demonstrations, tutorials, classroom exercises, and/or classroom exams. Creator credit to @TooTallToby is appreciated, but not necessary. So if you're out there, if you're an educator, if you're trying to create models and you need some sample drawings that are going to help you with educating other people, whether that's like a YouTube tutorial or in a classroom or whatever, it's all good. You can use these drawings however you want. Just buy the 10-pack, download it. You can use them however you want. So it's just kind of like an open, almost like a Creative Commons type license for this thing. So yeah, it's totally up to you guys. I love the educational space. I love helping people learn CAD. And if this helps, you know, spread the good word of 3D CAD, then by all means use this for any educational purpose that you want. It's pretty much an open license for you guys. Can't wait to try these new drawings in Build 123. Thanks, John. I'm looking forward to talking to you more about Build 123. I know I owe you a response, you and the team a response. It is definitely on its way still. Are those the same as the practice models challenges that give TTT cash and are coming soon? They're a little bit. These are not the same, no. I mean, we'll have a different mechanism for those, and these are slightly modified, Gonzalo. So yeah, these are slightly modified from the practice models that go out on the internet. I don't know how much overlap there's going to be, but for now, these are all unique, or at least slightly modified. I mean, you know, there's a version of this C-clamp base that's online that's similar, but these are slightly modified. I went through and changed some of the dimensions, added some features to some of these different prints here. So they're all slightly modified from the originals that you may have seen before. That way, you know, if somebody happens to have all these answers from before, they can't just blast through and, you know, like give an educator an answer, something like that. How does someone build a CAD model with programming? Yes, the answer to that is available on the leaderboard. If you watch anything that Jern has done on the leaderboard, you can definitely see it. Another question came in. What's the website? Drop the website link. The website link is just TooTallToby.com. So www.TooTallToby.com. So same website link as in the past, just TooTallToby.com. Yep, great question. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I hope you guys will get in there. I hope you'll start messing around. Make sure that your user profile is visible, is listed in the directory. You'll see when you log in the first time, there is a guide to say, do you want your username to be listed? Do you want your profile to be searchable? And then maybe upload a couple of examples of your work. It's kind of cool to be able to go into the directory and see the different examples of work that people have submitted. From that directory, you can just click right on their examples of work, and it kind of brings it up full screen. And the idea here is to help with kind of the networking process, in the long term. So it looks like this guy here, Jerry Smith, makes sheds. And so if I was to click on one of these images, you can see it just kind of brings it up full screen. Whether or not we're going to be able to see his actual user page is going to be based on his searchability. But you can see here that, he's posted some images of sheds here, some different work that maybe he's been doing. And then if that's something that, maybe I want to connect with Jerry, I want to ask him some questions about the sheds that he's designing and what techniques he's using. Well, then I could click into Jerry's profile. Maybe I've got some work for him that I want to throw his way, or maybe I just have some questions for him. And then depending on what is shown here as far as contact information, maybe I can just reach out to Jerry directly, contact him. We're going to add some fields here for Discord, for other ways of contacting people. But, you can see a little bit more information here about the work that Jerry has done here. So this is the new TooTallToby.com website. Purchases from the general store will be available just a little bit later today. All those purchases, everything we're doing on here is just using the fun TTT Cash. You get issued a TTT Cash balance in the beginning of creating your account. And then, of course, there will be opportunity to earn more by doing different things, even maybe by winning. You win on Model Monday Live. I kind of hinted at this earlier. You win on Model Monday Live. Let's give out some TTT Cash for those people who win. Maybe somebody wants to save up and buy this NFT of this ultra rare TTT hat, right? Very rare here. 390 TTT Cash. Only one of 42. There's only 42 of these tokens available for distribution. Once 42 people have these, nobody else can get them, unless they work out some kind of trade. So these are limited issue tokens, all these NFTs in this first series. And maybe you want to earn some TTT Cash so that you can buy this 390 TTT Cash token. Well, in order to earn that, there's got to be a mechanism to earn it. And, we've got a lot of stuff in the works to help all of you with that. So welcome to the new build. Welcome to the new build of TooTallToby.com. Very excited to see what people come up with and what kind of examples of work people put into the directory. All right, I think that's about it for that. Let's get back to our presentation for the day. Let's see what else we're going to be doing today. We do have some models we're going to be going through today, some Onshape tutorial type models that we're going to be going through today. But I think I'll try and do two of these after the midway point here, so I can give you guys another challenge for today. I did see a couple of answers come in. I know that this challenge is maybe a little more difficult than some of the stuff we've done in the past. I know Alex was able to come in with an answer and then revised his answer. And I also see that JD52WTF came in with an answer as well. So I don't know if anybody else out there is going to be coming in with an answer. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit about the game plan for one of these models, and then we'll go through and we'll build these. So we did get to see these models being built this past weekend in the tournament. I think this is probably a good one to start with. This is kind of a cool model. It's got an interesting segment in the middle where you have to decide how you're going to handle this kind of like double rib section. What exactly are we going to do to handle that? And so when it comes to this model here, you can see that, what I would do is just like what you guys are doing in the challenges. I would start out by grabbing a screen capture so I can move this over onto my second screen. And then I would kind of come up with a game plan. In a model like this, it's very tempting to create a shape like this as your starting shape, as kind of the footprint. But I think it actually makes more sense to create this shape looking in from the front. Create this as our first shape and then extrude that to the depth. And that way we've already got that curvature on the bottom waiting for us. Now for the second feature, this is where things get a little more tricky. What do we want to create second? Do we want to create this ramp that comes up and then this other ramp over here? Or do we want to create this circular boss up top? I think what I would probably do is I would probably create that circular boss just because it makes it easy for me to kind of bridge the two bodies together. And it gives me some feedback as to how much I'm able to overlap that circular boss to create, these ribs here in the middle. So I'd probably do that first. I would create that circular boss, then I would create that one rib, then I would create this other rib here. And then once I'm done creating those features, now I'm going to be ready to go back and add in the cut extrude for the hole going through the middle. And that should be enough for me to come up with the correct answer for that model. So I'll do that after the break. I did see one more answer come in here. Let's take a look here at the answer to this first challenge. And the answer to this first challenge is, let's take a look here. Let's bring up the chat and see what everybody in the chat's coming up with. So like I said, the first answer I think came in here from Alex, 908 grams. And then Alex revised to 934 grams. Interesting revision there. And then we had JD52WTF come in here with 336 grams. And then JDF revised to Alex's first answer. And then Alex revised again to 908 grams for this lock star. So let's see what we got here. The correct answer is 908 grams. Very nicely done. So who does this one go to? Does it go to JD, who kind of locked in on that answer first? Or does it go to Alex because he originally answered with 908, but then he revised to 934? What do you think? Maybe we'll just do a half a point to each of them. That's a tough one there. We'll just give a full point to each of them. Why not, right? We're giving away lots of points today. So GG to everyone who competed today. GG to JD. GG to AMO Alex. And, okay, JD says he'll just take a half a point. Okay, all right, we'll do a half a point each. So very nicely done to both of our runners coming in with that answer. 908 grams is the correct answer on that one. And that's going to allow us to move into our second challenge. Let's take a look here. Our second challenge is going to go live in 3, 2, 1. Shout out to David in the chat saying, GG, guys. Yeah, I agree. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So you're going to grab a screen capture of this print. We can see here that it's saying, what is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. And we can see here that this model is called Cast Mount. It's in MMGS. It's made of plain carbon steel. This thing's probably going to be pretty heavy. We can see all of the different dimensions on this thing. We can see we've got some, looks like some rib action or some gusset or support action there on the front view. We got some different angle dimensions. This thing has everything, right? Got some different angle dimensions. Got a weird countersunk hole going down in from the top. So this model really has it all. If you guys like models like this, be sure to hit that like button. This is definitely a good one. Alrighty, I hope that's enough time for everybody. And I'm gonna encourage you guys to take a screen capture of that, move it over to your second screen. That way you don't end up, you end up giving yourself the best opportunity to get this thing right. And let's take a look here at some of these challenges from this weekend using Onshape as our guide. We're gonna do kind of little Onshape tutorial action here. So let's go to, let's roll forward here just a little bit in our PowerPoint. And let's start by taking a look at this curved eyelet. And we're going to be using Onshape to do this. So let's bring up our Onshape documents page. This is a totally free version of Onshape. So if you guys are out there, maybe, you're just dropping in trying to learn CAD, or maybe you've got a niece or a nephew, somebody in your family who wants to learn 3D CAD, who's, got access to a 3D printer and wants to create some cool models so they can 3D print them out. Well, I gotta say, I encourage you to let them know about the totally free version of Onshape, onshape.com/free. Everything that I'm doing here today is in that free version of Onshape. It runs completely in a browser. It'll run on just about any device. I don't want to say any device because, certainly there's going to be older devices that can barely run Chrome that it probably won't be able to run Onshape, but it runs on any device. I mean, there's no, it runs on Windows, it runs on Mac, it runs on iOS, it runs on Linux, it runs on Android. So there's a lot of different platforms that I've seen people running Onshape in, and a lot of versatility there in regards to that. And again, if you maybe know somebody in your life who is trying to get into, just get a little bit more into the world of 3D CAD and 3D printing, definitely you want to check out Onshape, the free version of Onshape. Dirtman says, it does work in Chrome easily. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have a computer that doesn't run Chrome, I just don't like saying it can run on any device, because then somebody's going to come at me and be like, hey, you know, I got a Pentium 4 and I couldn't run Onshape in it. You know, something like that. Somebody's going to come at me and say, you said it would run on any device. I mean, there are going to be, there's all these limitations. So, but I mean, I have seen people run it on, like, I saw one guy run it on a refrigerator. They hacked into the Android build on their refrigerator, ran Onshape on their refrigerator. So, yeah. Cannot run on my calculator. Doom runs just fine. Yeah, exactly, Omri. You know what I'm saying. You get that TI-86 or whatever and load up a version of Doom and you're good to go. It'll probably happen soon. I mean, I've seen Onshape run on some pretty surprising hardware. So, yeah, I mean, it runs on just about anything. And it definitely runs in Chrome, and it definitely runs in Linux. There you go. All right, here we go. Let's create this document. We're going to be trying to create this part here, this curved eyelet. The question is, what is the mass of this part in grams? And we're going to be going a little bit fast because I want to try and get in 2 before we hit the hour mark. So I'm going to create a new document here. I'm going to call this 23-T-03 and curved eyelet. And the significance of this naming is that if you are using the free version of Onshape, all the documents you create are going to be in the public space, which means they are searchable. Anyone can search for your documents, but that also means that anyone can search for my documents. So if you want to see this model, if you want to open this model in Onshape, well, you have the ability to do that by searching, you know, my documents. It's a public document, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to start out by just creating kind of half of this thing. You can see here the technique that I'm using. I'm creating this arc here, this arc, this point, and this point are all going to be vertical. That's going to set me up to mirror that very easily. And so I'm going to now jump into my mirror command here in Onshape. I haven't actually done this before. I wonder if I can just mirror about a plane. Let's do it, baby. Oh, yeah. That worked. Perfect. Sweet. All right, so I was able to mirror. I didn't have to create a center line. I just mirrored about that plane. Boom. Ready to rock and roll here. This has got a radius of 222, and this has got a distance here of, let's try it again. Distance here of 133. Always extruded. Okay, here we go. And Paul Wan is saying, hi, Toby, I'm new here. Can you suggest some best practices? Yes, Paul Wan, check out the playlist on my YouTube channel called Power Moves. That is where all of my best practices are listed. There's tons of good stuff in there that's going to help you. Beyond that, you know, search my channel for tutorial. Lots of tutorial videos to explain some best practices. So yeah, definitely happy to help you out with that. And I think Power Moves is the place to start. Or tutorial. If you look at some tutorials, I kind of explain the thought process. Dirtman says, do you have any advice for someone creating a 3D printing club? I mean, anytime you choose to create anything, you just have to know that it's all about perseverance. The longer you're willing to stay in the game, the more likely you're going to be successful. So just don't give up. You know, just like make a like 2-year plan. Like I'm going to start here with my 3D printing club. I'm going to have meetings every month. I'm going to have this many people show up the first month. And my goal is that by the end of 2 years, I'm going to have this many people showing up. Or, you know, like set some measurable goals and just kind of plan out long term. Because if you're trying to create a new club, you know, it's going to take a little while to get some traction. It's not like the first meeting you have, you're going to have hundreds of people showing up. So just keep that in mind. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I'd have. The more you're willing to persevere, the more likely you're going to be successful. I mean, there's some ideas that are just bad ideas, but, you know. I guess the other advice I would have would be to, you know, find out where the local makerspace is, because there's going to be lots of overlap between, you know, if you're making a 3D printing club and people who are already involved in the local makerspace, there's going to be lots of overlap. So find out where that is. Maybe, you know, sign up for a membership, start going to meetings and gatherings there. And you can use that to kind of recruit people who are interested in 3D printing specifically. I mean, what would you do at a 3D printing club? I guess that would probably be a good question too. What would you do at a 3D printing club? You guys just get together, talk about 3D printers? That sounds kind of like you know, a good application of like Meetup or Discord to find people who are local. Would you guys actually like try to put together some type of business model where you would 3D print as a service, excuse me? You know, then that might be you might end up taking a different approach if that's the case. All right, so I'm creating this rib here. This time I did create a center line. Probably didn't need to do that, right? We learned that just a few moments ago. We learned that in Onshape, you don't need a center line to mirror. So I really didn't need to create that entity, but I did. And this is 115/2. So I'll type in 115/2. And I will take that line and make it Q for construction. Take that line, make it Q for construction. And then I will take that geometry and mirror it. Boom. And now I'm going to jump into my my dimension command. All these commands I'm jumping into are, it's already 115, I already did it. All these commands I'm jumping into are directly from the S key. The S key is my favorite command in all CAD systems. And I love the fact that it's available in Onshape. It's just such a huge time saver. If you're looking for, you know, ways to save time and best practices, definitely take the time to learn how to use the S key. It will be a tremendous help. Let's do this one without making a center line. So we'll do a mirror. We'll mirror about this. We'll pick this. I love how Onshape just gives you the instructions up at the top of the screen. You know, now we're done with the mirror. That's that. So nice. Hate the S key. Coming from Onshape to SolidWorks, I prefer wasting time adding shortcuts in SolidWorks. All right, fair enough. Well, you can, if you're going into SolidWorks from Onshape, you can watch my video on the S key in SolidWorks. Maybe I'll make a believer out of you, but if not, that's okay. You don't have to use it. But that also might have just been sarcasm. Sometimes my sarcasm detector is a little bit undercalibrated. All right, this looks good. We're going to extrude that. We're going to take that to a depth of 13 millimeters, and we'll make that one symmetric with the green check mark. And then we can combine all these together. Actually, I think I could do that right in this command, right? Make that an add, and then merge scope, merge with all. Boom. Merge them all together. There we go. Just do that all in one step. That way you don't have to do that extra step. And now we can finish up here with a hole. I could either sketch this as a circle, or I could use the hole feature. They're probably going to be about the same amount of time here, although I think the whole feature might actually still have been a little faster. Save me having to do, you know, the end condition and locate that hole. But all right, there we go. And now this model is made of ABS. So I'm going to come down here to my part 1, right mouse button, assign material. This is coming from a custom library that I built, the TooTallToby custom materials. You can watch the video on how I built this on the Onshape YouTube channel. And you can also search for that custom materials directly in the Onshape public library. So everyone has access to that. And the answer to this one is 425, and that is the correct answer. I actually remember that one from the event. So I remember somebody said, wait, did he type 425 or 421? So 425 is the correct answer to this one here, the curved eyelet. And a good little model there, great little practice model. If you haven't had a chance to do it, you know, check it out. It's the 2D print you can watch from the live stream that I did on YouTube this past weekend with the tournament. But that was a good little model. I really was happy with the way that one came out. Let's do a little flex here. Let's change the appearance and make the appearance match a little bit closer to what the appearance is on the print. That nice like tan appearance. I like it. Tan sand. Oh yeah. All right, let's close this document and let's try to do one more before we run out of time here. Let's see here. Which other one was kind of fun? This one was kind of fun too. The runners really blasted through this one fast, but it's kind of a fun model also. A few different features, a good opportunity to use several different feature types. So let's try this one next. I'm going to grab a screen capture of this print. This is called the pivot plate. I'm going to grab this screen capture here, move it over to my other screen. AMO Alex is saying, Toby, your speed modeling in Onshape become much faster. Thank you. Yes, practice is the key. So let's create a new document here, and we're going to call this one 23-T-31-pivot plate. Few different features in this model. As always, we want to look at the print. We want to ask ourselves, where should we start with this thing? I think on a model like this, you probably want to start with this shape. You might make it in 2 features rather than making it in 1 feature. So I might actually start here with a rectangle, 60 by 155. I do have symmetry in 2 directions on this thing. So centerline symmetry, centerline symmetry. That means the origin should probably be right here in the center. That way I could maybe even just model half of the features and mirror them across, or at least at certain times I could maybe do that. So we're going to start out here, top plane, begin a sketch, orient the view, and we're going to jump into a center point rectangle and drop that rectangle right on the origin, or at least that's what we were hoping for. Looks like I misclicked. Getting nervous modeling in front of you guys, you pros. Let's extrude this up to a height of 18. Whoops. Double click on that feature. There we go, 18. And then we can start creating that extra geometry on the front where it's kind of like scalloped out a little bit. We can use our little mirror trick that we just learned in the last exercise. So we could take this plane here and use that plane to mirror these entities. Boom. Let's jump into a line command, close that off. Although we could just use the bottom of the model, right, in Onshape. And then we're going to say that this is going to have a distance of 7 millimeters from this end of the part and an angle of 30 degrees and a height of 6 millimeters. And extrude through all, remove through all. And there we go. Love that preview in Onshape. Let's take this face here and begin another sketch. And now we're going to create the sketch for this shape. Now here you can see I can come back and touch the endpoint and then come around with a tangent arc. That's kind of a newer addition to the functionality in Onshape. Very, very useful. I don't know what's wrong with my hand today. I can't seem to nail these relationships. Make this one 35/2 because it's defined as a diameter, and we will say that this is 91 for the width at the bottom there. We'll take this point and use the V key to make them vertical to one another, and we'll finish up with a dimension from the base to the center of that arc of 45 millimeters. And so at this point, if we wanted to, we could also sketch that circle and kind of reuse that circle in another view, but I'm just going to reverse direction here and just do this first part here at 10 millimeters. So we'll make that guy 10 millimeters and reverse direction. And there we go. Whoops. That should have been add. There we go. And now I can create a sketch here on, wow, this is a weird dimension. It's looking for a dimension of, what's it looking for here? Oh, I think I sketched on the wrong plane. There we go. So what is this dimension? It's 14. Go. I got it. That's a little bit of a weird dimension there, but it was pretty easy math in our head. We don't have to go too crazy with calculating that one out. So now we S key, wake up the center point, and we give ourselves our through hole diameter of 18, and we can remove that using through all. Boom. And now we can take those features and mirror them. So we're going to do a mirror, not of the entire part, but just of a few specific features. And that's going to be this extrude, and this extrude. And those are going to get mirrored about the front plane. Boom. That looks beautiful. And now we can create our slotted hole feature here. Just finished making a tutorial on this feature as well. So with this feature, what you do is you input a dimension representing the length of that slot. And then what you're able to do is do the slotted feature from that sketch. So it's actually in here with the offset tools. You do slot, and then you're able to specify what you need that slot distance to be. So this needs to actually be 21, and that's it. And that allows you to create that slotted geometry and ultimately turn that geometry into your cut extrude. Oops. Keep going out of the sketch by accident there. Oh, I wasn't going into the sketch, that's why. And so we're going to remove that. That's going to be a through all as well, or, you know, through all up to next. Those will both work. Through all, you can see a little bit of trying to thwart the Ivan exploit with that feature, ripping through that, you know, angled face. So it does need to be in a very specific location. And then we've got our 10 millimeter fillets here on 1, 2, 3, 4 corners of this thing, all running in a browser. Pretty darn impressive here from Onshape. No lag. I mean, look how fast it responds. All the features I just created, there was no waiting, no lag, just totally snappy and responsive the whole time. Very, very happy with the performance of Onshape thus far. So we're going to assign the material from the TooTallToby library. This one is a plain carbon steel material, and we are going to mass properties that thing and come up with a mass of 1039 grams. I don't know if that is correct. And that is correct. had to go to my secret answer sheet. 1039 grams for that one, and that is correct. So GG to Toby for getting that one right. Let's again flex a little bit here. Let's edit the appearance and make this a nice purple to kind of match the purple on that print. But that is how you do it. That's how you roll. Let's close that document and let's take a look at the chat here. I was kind of neglecting the chat there for a little bit. I got a little in the zone, but got a revision coming in here from JDF. How do you access PCB Studio? Yep, PCB Studio is a purchased add-in. So that's a SolidWorks add-in that you can purchase. All right, and we got John coming in with an answer here using build 123D, so that's pretty cool. So let's take a look here. Let's see what we got. Don't forget, guys, to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the easiest way to do it is to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to comment. And there are a ton of these practice models in the practice models playlist. So if you want to get more practice, this is the way to do it. A lot of times I see people getting in here and just ripping through these. And it's a great way to do it. Great way to get in and get some good practice here in the world of 3D modeling. So let's see here. What did we get for answers in this one? We got, let's see. We got Alex coming in 2514. Was that the first answer we got? I think so. 2514 coming in from AMO Alex, who is going to be competing here very soon. 2 weeks, I think. So be sure to join us for Alex's competition in the tournament. JD52WTF 2484, revising to 2434. John coming in here 2520. What is the correct answer, guys? The correct answer is 2514. And that one came in from AMO Alex early on. GG to AMO Alex. Let's give Alex a GG in the chat, everybody. Alex earning a point for that one. Clean point on that one. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Very nicely done to all of our runners. I know that part is a little bit of a tricky part, but kind of cool having the different levels of extrusion on that one. And guys, I think that pretty much brings us to the end. We did everything we set out to do, right? We talked about the new website. We talked about using Onshape and did some tutorials using Onshape. We talked about the tournament. We gave you guys 2 modeling challenges. We did a lot in this past hour. Hard to believe we did so much in just 55 minutes, basically. But congrats to our winners. Very nicely done. Congratulations to AMO Alex and JD52WTF, earning 1.5 points and 0.5 points, respectively. We got, don't forget to check out our professional, no IT required computer solutions from www.mysolidbox.com. A great partner, great supporter of the overall user community. And don't forget, if you're trying to learn Onshape, I do have a Onshape, playlist. And the playlist is over on the Onshape YouTube channel. It's called SW Expert Learns Onshape. So it's me as a SolidWorks expert, my whole journey from signing up for a free account all the way through to making assemblies. It's an ongoing series. It's not done. We see new content every week in that series. So very excited to be working with the Onshape team and creating that content and just using Onshape in general. I really, I love SolidWorks, guys. I always love SolidWorks, but things are changing. You can tell that things are changing. I think that As things are changing, as SolidWorks is kind of getting, I don't know, sunset a little bit, it's nice to know that there are other solutions out there, and it's nice to experiment a little bit and learn about some of those other solutions, whether it's Onshape or a Libre. There's a lot of good solutions out there, and it's kind of the cool thing about the tournament. It gives you a chance to see all these different solutions, and you know, Allness won the tournament last year using Onshape. It's pretty darn impressive. So I wanted to really learn more about what that solution has to offer, and it just continues to impress me. So check it out if you want to see my journey into the wonderful world of Onshape. And of course, thank you to the most amazing chat ever. You guys are great. If you enjoyed the episode today, throw a 1 in the chat. And of course, be sure to come back and join us on Saturday, September 2nd, where we're going to see a matchup between Chadwick and Tarak Shodi, United States versus Egypt, Inventor Professional versus SolidWorks. And we're also going to see Will from Brazil using SolidWorks. We've seen him in here the past couple of weeks at Model Monday Live, tearing it up, going up against the 2020 Winter Champion, Cam Smith. So that is going to be a good matchup on Saturday, September 2nd, coming up this Saturday. So I hope to see everybody there. We will do Model Monday Live next week, so I'll be back here next week. I'm going to try and do these, you know, pretty regularly. Try to skip too many as we head into the end of the year. But yep, I agree, John. Will versus Cam Smith is going to be crazy. It's going to be an awesome, epic matchup. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a great way to start our week. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I hope that everybody learned a lot today. And if you have any questions, let me know. Check out the new website. If you're running any hangups on the website, hit up the contact form. It's at the top of the website, TooTallToby.com. And enjoy the new website. Later tonight, you'll be able to purchase your PDF 10-pack. You'll be able to purchase your NFTs. And in the future, we're going to have a lot more functionality that's tied into that user account. So it's good to sign up for the user account now. You get a free NFT when you sign up for the user account. So this is a good time to do it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys on Saturday, or I'll see you guys next week.